Radio, ALICOR, launching national information.
From the National Information Dissemination Center, good day and welcome to Elections Today. Elections Today is a 30-minute package intended to inform you on the activities of the 2023 national elections in Liberia. It's brought to you by the Association of Liberia Community Radio ALICOR, with support from Internews and funding from the Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA. I'm your presenter, Edward Kollie. Coming up in this edition, as the National Elections Commission kicks off candidate nomination process, its chair, Director Brown Lasana, urges politicians to make use of their time. National Elections Commission and partners hold media dialogue on peaceful elections. And we speak to Babulu Senior Elections Magistrate Ernest McKay on the completion of the voters' roll exhibition in that county. These plus a lot more making up this edition of Elections Today. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after our theme song.
Launching national information, discrimination. Liberia, la sapo ALICOR.
Momentum towards the 2023 general and presidential elections seems to be gathering steam by the day. The National Elections Commission of Liberia is rolling out a number of activities in the build-up to the October polls. One of them is the candidate nomination. Our reporter Florence Flomo has been following the process and now reports.
NIDC's candidate nomination process commenced recently at the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex in Pinsville City outside Monrovia. This process of the electoral activities follow a successful completion of Liberia's first ever biometric voters registration and voters roll exhibition. The National Election Commission chairperson is Deviata Brown Lasana. She has been providing details about the process.
This is a process where aspirants who want to contest in the 10th October 2023 presidential and general elections will gather to fill in their various forms and to create the kind of documentation that are needed in order for them to be scrutinized, for which end we will be qualifying those who meet the criteria to contest in the 10th October 2023 elections. On the 12th, we began the process of giving out packages. And I'm told that despite the fact that we made all of these announcements, there were very, very few aspirants who came to this center to pick up their packages. Now, this is not good for a start. And I will say once again, the National Elections Commission will not extend a candidate nomination. It will start today and it will end on the 14th of June.
Elections are usually viewed as an expensive exercise, and conducting credible elections requires funding. So has the NEC received the necessary funding for the conduct of the election? Here is Madam Brown Lasana with an answer.
To answer your question, I would say to you that the Commission is yet to receive the full funding for the election. We continue to work with the ministry to ensure that this happens. Our technicians and the Ministry of Finance Development Planning technicians did have a meeting to consolidate whatever information we have on both sides. That narrative is being prepared by my office, and where it points to various gaps in funding the Elections Commission, we will take that up with the Finance Ministry and other partners, and which end we will be informing the Liberian people as to whether we have received all of the funding or whether in fact the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning still owes the Elections Commission money. But I'll tell you this, if we don't get all the money that we require for these elections, that would be a problem.
Madam Brown Lasana is encouraging Liberians to continue to engage into activities that will support the peaceful conduct of the polls.
Liberians who registered to participate in the October elections recently turned out for the voters' roll exhibition. The objective of the exercise was to allow registered voters to verify their information at various registration centers. Our contributor Henry Boluma in Babolo County visited some centers and spoke with citizens who have gone to check their information.
My name is Kollie. Presently, I'm at the exhibition center. I'm corrected.
Have you checked already?
Yes, indeed, I've checked.
So what are those information basically you check for?
I check for my name, the search, the age. I think these are the basic information that the people require.
Are they okay?
Yes, all understood. Check for my wife as well, and everything is nice. Or age, or search, and of course, or photo. Everything is there. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my car in a safe zone until October 10.
So how was the process like?
Very smooth. The place is not crowded. It's started earlier, and people have been coming. People have been eager to come, and they have come. They have verified. I just came to do mine today.
Your name again?
My name is Kollie. I'm a resident of Bupuru District, to be specific, Promised Land Community.
My name is Balapi Zina. I'm the Assistant Secretary General for the Bupuru District Youth Association. Yeah, I came to do my verification on my name, so I came to check my names, my age, my voting center, and my ID number. So I came to do that follow-up on it. Yeah, it is 100% correct. All the information I was logging, everything is okay. So let me say thanks to the National Election Commission, Babulu chapter, for at least providing the kind of opportunity for people to come and verify their information that they give during the voter registration.
I'm Kollie from Medina.
From Medina? So what you can do here today?
I can check for my name.
So you check, what thing happened?
I found it was correct.
So your name correct? So what next are you going to do?
I just waiting for election now for me to do it.
Thank you. Yeah, your name again?
Kollie.
Hearing also spoke with Babolo County Senior Elections Magistrate Ernest Mackey.
As you are aware, the process started on the 12th and ended on the 17th. And we want to again extend our thanks and appreciation to all of our citizens, our chiefs, elders, our school authorities for their generosity, for giving us the opportunity to use our premises to carry on this work. As it relates to the process, we want to say the process went on fine. And as you may be aware, the issue of exhibition is one of the steps that lead to the process of elections. And so, like we always did, we encourage our people to turn out to ensure that they have all the necessary corrections made on the provisional, role, so that if there's any mistake or any changes that they think they should be made, they needed to do it as quick as possible. Again, we did that through your medium, and we encourage them, and we want to say thanks to our citizens who took up the challenge to come and view whatever that on the roster.
Okay. Do you have a clear understanding of how many persons took advantage?
We will not be able to give you the clear data right now because, as you may be aware, some of our people just returned yesterday from far distances. We're talking about Fasama, District 2. We're talking about Kolobani and other areas. They just came. We're talking about District 3. Some of them just came. So for now, we are trying to compile our report and make sure that this report are sent back to our head office, and at which time the head office will deliberate on some of.
Babolo County Senior Elections Magistrate Ernest Mackey speaking to our contributor Henry Boluma. Civic voter education is a critical element of the electoral process. CVE takes place to assist the election administration in its task to delivering a free, fair, efficient, and cost-effective election. With this in mind, the CVE division of the National Elections Commission recently held a brainstorming section in Ganta, Nema County, from where our man Jerome Say reports.
It is 4 months to Liberia's next general and presidential elections. The National Elections Commission has so many issues to deal with. Among the many issues is providing civil voter education to citizens. The CVE covers the basic voter information that every voter must have in order to get ready to vote on October 10. Ahead of the polls, CVE sales staff from Maryland, Riverside, Grand Crew, Grand Gila, Bonk, and Lover counties are meeting in Nemba to reflect on past activities and plan for tasks ahead. NDC Commissioner Ernestine Morgan Awa provided the essence of the gathering.
So we have come back prior to the process to ensure these activities we have been running. Where are we? I have come today in the MNE jacket because monitoring and evaluation is important to any process. If you cannot monitor and evaluate the cycle of your project, then there is no essence. Because where gaps are, it will be necessary that we mend those gaps prior to the actual commencement of the exercise that we should want to achieve in the elections. So we are here today to find out what the gaps are. We are human. There are always things that we will breach and we will have to make do and fit in. But it is very cardinal. The CVE cells have been working. They've been doing well. But there are areas too. And the external component, which is the M&E section, has gone to do evaluation and they have given feedbacks. So it is good to know that we are here today to discuss these points, to see where our capacities have fell short, and so we can mend the gaps.
The NEC Commissioner told the CVE sales staff that they have the responsibility of making the people understand what their rights are so that they can be able to exercise their rights. She reminded them of the importance of carrying out CVE activities in a timely manner, which will allow people to know their rights during elections.
So it is so important in the processes of elections that civic and voter education is disposed in a timely manner. And people must comprehend that right to give integrity to the outcome of the processes. And that's what NEC has been doing. But we must do it in a timely way. It requires accountability. It requires financial strength. It requires potential. Because in order for you to do your work in time, we must come to you in time. And you must get to your people in time, which impacts the process of the future in terms of the final date, which is Elections Day, when the people will have had knowledge as to how they exercise the franchise.
Madam Morgan Awol admonished the CVE staff to ensure that the three elements of civic education, including civic knowledge, we talked about how citizens understand the way their political system works and their own political civic rights. Civic skills explain the ability of citizens to examine, evaluate, and protect their positions on public issues, and civil disposition that calls for citizens' tolerance, willingness to negotiate, and compromise are properly done. She indicated that as the focal point of disseminating information, CVE sales staff must exercise civility and their duties in making sure that election procedures are carried out by the people.
It is important because you have the right of making the citizens understand what their rights are and how they can be able to contribute their rights into the national sovereignty in deciding the national issues.
NEC Commissioner Ernestine Morgan Awa, ending that report by our Nima County contributor, Jerome Say. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Elections Today. Elections Today is a 30-minute package intended to inform you on the activities of the 2023 national elections in Liberia. It's brought to you by the Association of Liberia Community Radio ALICOR, with support from Internews and sponsorship from the Sudan International Development Agency, SIDA. I'm your presenter, Edward Kollie. Stay ahead of us. National Elections Commission and partners hold media dialogue for peaceful election. Let's now take this musical break, and this song is done by Onisimos Woyawo and is called Peaceful Elections. Hope you enjoy. Stay tuned.
Lua, knees on it, feel it. Accountability lab, hip core network, yeah. We want peaceful election, yeah. We want peaceful election. Stop violence, don't cause problem. Hold hands for peaceful election. We want peaceful election. We want peaceful election. Stop violence, don't cause problem. Let's stand for peaceful election. Yeah, Liberia is a democratic country, governed by the things that the Constitution says. After 6 years, our leaders are elected to the House of Legislature and the Great Executive by the means of passing through the proper voting policy. It's either by percentage or simple majority. No trade to win a race, okay, you're probably different place. Don't plan for the people to go register in people while you know they live in muscle rather right around the free bowl. All the things can pave the road to vote up in this grotto. Beside you, going evil people, then you get it, deal. One you through your poem, you get that number, go on the video, single get that, there's no need for us to battle. You leader, you keep your people before that enough is enough. We tired sharing blood. Before you run decision, give a chance to second thought. We want peaceful election. We want peaceful election. Stop violence, don't cause problem. Hold hands for peaceful election. We want peaceful election. We want peaceful election. Stop violence, don't cause problem. Let's aim for peaceful election. Listeners between your channels to my voice. This election, there's a lot of voters must evolve. Cause a single demonstration will make blended into sport. Don't go for your brother just because you more quick. Y'all like work together, separate and tap on your leg. Mono bottle, and your wooden coin, you need for the toe. Baby, coin, go, baby, I can't that be that poor. As we await October for us to cast our votes. Franchise, legal rights for brighter tomorrow. Y'all like try to remain humble and say no to being this condo. Because fighting with Jack, keep the area fearful like the jungle. If your party not successful, forget ever causing grumble. We don't wanna run no desperate times again with bundles. Mono, please, they are need. Please, me not agree. Don't be deceived and wage war against your lead. Any candidate that wins should reach the average that we need. We want peaceful election. We want peaceful election.
What a nice song there. We want peaceful election. And I'd like to say welcome back to the program Elections Today. The media plays a critical role during elections. The media act as a watchdog to help ensure transparent political process. The media are usually expected to offer a platform for candidates and voters to discuss important issues. Yet, as election-related violence is becoming a serious challenge to many African countries, the media can also amplify or even incite national biases or tensions during elections. Being fully aware of the critical role of the media in times like these, the National Elections Commission and partners, including the United Nations Development Program, Internews Liberia, recently held a media dialogue towards peaceful elections. Louis Cookman is UNDP acting resident representative. He's been urging journalists to focus on setting the agenda and upholding their code of conduct.
Education in terms of information, in terms of communication, in terms of training, accountability in terms of holding office holders, leaders, civil societies, and yourself to the principles that they have set and agreed on. And that's a very, very important thing that you should know. And therefore, you play a very, very pivotal role, especially in our 2023 general elections that are upcoming. You set the agenda. Every morning, you set the agenda. And you decide what becomes the conversation for the day or the week. And so you have a make or break responsibility. And you have to make a choice. You have a make or break responsibility. And you have to make a choice. But fortunately, almost all of us gathered here, and I'm including myself because I'm from Ghana. And if I'm a Ghanaian, I can take myself as a Liberian. Because when you go there to Ghana, there's a whole section we call the Liberian camp. A lot of Liberians, we have intermarried. We are now brothers and sisters, half uncles, half brothers, half everything. So, the success of Liberia, the peaceful nature of Liberia, I have a lot of interest in that. The development of Liberia means a lot for me, just as the development of Ghana. If Liberians wake up tomorrow and there's no peace, Ghanaians and other neighboring countries will not be at peace. And that's why I said you have a make or break responsibility. And because we are all Liberians, we will choose the path of make. That in our roles and responsibilities as journalists, as media people, we play our cardinal role of educating, informing the general public, especially down the lane of these elections. How do we do that? First, you must uphold your code of conduct as journalists, as media people. You have a code of conduct. Every profession, vocation has a code of conduct. And if I'm a teacher, if I'm a nurse, if I'm a doctor, and if I'm a journalist, I have to learn A to Z of my code of conduct. So that anywhere I walk, whatever I do, whatever I say, anywhere and in any form I communicate, verbally, non-verbally, or anyhow, it is a reflex of my code of conduct. It is a reflex of me as a patriotic Liberian who wants to make but not to break. That's the first important thing. The second important thing as we walk down elections is to understand. First, you must understand. Get to understand the rubrics, the mechanisms, the processes, the information about the elections. You cannot teach what you don't know. You cannot inform the public what you yourself don't know. So first, you must seek to know. And how do you seek to know? By getting close to the National Elections Commission, knowing what the processes are, the steps, and then you'll now be able to inform, educate, teach the general public. You must know again that as media people, as I said, you are the agenda setters. We are looking for certain things. Fairness. You should be able to scrutinize the election process to ensure its integrity, fairness, and quality. And that is one of the ways of building public trust and confidence throughout the process.
Louis Cookman is UNDP acting resident representative. 2023 is a very critical year for the National Elections Commission, and sharing of information is key to the next quest to educate the citizens about activities leading to the elections. And it seems that Commissioner Bwaka Dukley, who is tasked with providing oversight for Maryland, Grand Crew, and Sano counties, as well as communications at the National Elections Commission, is in no doubt about the significance of the media to the electoral process. Commissioner Dukley has therefore been urging the media to help ensure a peaceful conduct of the elections by speaking the truth and avoid being the spokesperson for politicians.
The significance of the talking drum in the African village is what we need to be thinking about. We are going to a very crucial historical point in our nation since the war. You have the ability to cause chaos by making announcements that may inflame a situation. You also have the ability to make peace. You have the ability to make peace. And this, you now have to choose whether you want to create instability in the country or you want to create peace. And I believe we create peace by speaking truthfully, speaking truth to power. And this is the reason why you are meeting, so that you can receive, sometimes they call it training, but I call it reminder. So you will be reminded of your really civic responsibility to the nation. You have a responsibility when you choose to be in the press. You have a responsibility to maintain stability in the country. You have a responsibility to speak truth to power. You have a responsibility not to cause chaos. You will have the right, maybe you're sitting at Puma station and you broadcast. To tell you the truth, I hear you from as far as Totota. So your responsibility when you are sitting before the microphone Don't think about the prestige you now have. Think about the impact your message is going to have on the stability, reconciliation, and peace of our country. I want to really urge you to pay attention. Take it to be your responsibility that this country will remain peaceful. Speak the truth, report the truth. Don't be political. If you want to be a politician, leave this field that you are now in. You can go and become press officer for one politician here and there. But if you say you represent the press, you try to give up what is some of your very cardinal principles. Balance. Give us a balanced report. Don't snatching your report where you get more gravy from. Speak the truth. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that as we go to October, you will be ready.
Waka Dukle is a commissioner at the National Elections Commission. It is no secret that the media is key to improving democracy. Its role, especially at this time of election, cannot be overemphasized. Liberia is witnessing media plurality, but such progress also presents new challenges as well. Seattle Scott Johnson is president of the Female Journalists Association. Despite the many challenges facing the media, Madam Scott Johnson wants journalists to commit themselves to ensuring violence-free elections.
As the previous speaker said, this workshop is intended to not only build our capacity, but to have us making commitments and pledging as journalists, as media practitioners, to ensure peaceful elections. Ensure peaceful elections in the way we conduct ourselves as journalists, in the way we report stories surrounding the elections, in the way we provide platforms to politicians, in the way we govern the talk shows that politicians will be invited. We cannot only emphasize that the peace, the stability, and everything that Liberia needs to move forward is on the shoulders of the media. We know the role we play as journalists, and because of the roles we play as journalists, that's the reason why Liberia is depending on us to ensure peaceful elections. So when we say, let's stay in the room, let's be present, let's apply what we learn, and let's commit ourselves to ensuring peaceful elections. Only see taking our partners and taking to some of us, or those of us that have come from far places to be here.
Seattle Scott Johnson is president of the Female Journalists Association. Well, on that note, listeners, that's how we go home on this edition of Elections Today. Elections Today is a 30-minute package intended to inform you about the activities of the 2023 national elections in Liberia. It's brought to you by the Association of Liberia Community Radio ALICOR with support from Internews and funding from the Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA. I have been your presenter, Edward Kollie. Until we meet again, bye-bye.
Discrimination, Liberia. Lucky,